Welcome to College Cash Corner, the podcast that helps you navigate the world of personal finance while rocking your college life. I'm your host, Tara, and I'm joined today by my co-hosts, Natalia and Victor. In today's episode, we're cracking open our piggy banks and chatting about saving money. Natalia and Victor, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thank you, Tara. How are you?
I'm doing well. And Victor?
I'm doing good. How about you?
Good. All right, so let's start by, first of all, talking about statements that we hear or that we say when talking about saving money.
The first one that comes to my mind is that it's impossible.
It's impossible.
Yeah, it's so hard to save money, or just rich people can do it.
All right, how about you, Victor?
A lot of times I hear that they're limited to how much they could save or that it's hard, like Natalia said.
Yeah, I hear the same things. I hear that it's hard to save money. I also hear the statement, if I made more money or I had more money, I could save more money, which
Right.
I think there's truth to that. We'll start by talking about the challenges of saving money. We've already kind of mentioned it, a limited income. Is that something that you guys face with saving money?
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, I can just work less than 20 hours because I'm international student and I'm limited to work just at school. So there's a limitation on the income that I can get. But I think it's more how limited you are in your mind about if you can save or not than your expenses. Of course, there are some challenges when you need to save money for your rent, your food, when you don't have enough for cover your need. But once you have covered your needs, it's when you should start thinking about saving money.
Oh, what about you, Victor?
Took all the words out of my mouth.
Do your friends also, do you hear this from your friends too?
Oh yeah, plenty. They're like, if I had a better job or if I just had an opportunity to get a better job, I would have took it. But, they're limited to their income and they can only, use the money they have for their necessities, which is bills, food and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, they barely have any money to pay for their, not to pay for their savings, but, save for their savings.
As students, you only have so many hours in the day to go to class, to do your homework, to study, and then to work. Definitely a limited income is something that college students definitely face. Even outside of college, you may be facing a limited income because of job opportunities, your skill set, or a lot of different obligations. But with that being said, it is possible, even with a limited income, to save. Making more money doesn't always mean that you have more to save. Another common challenge to saving money is peer pressure. I know that having been out of college for a while, the peer pressure, it's still there. I see the things that my neighbors are doing with their houses or cars that they're buying or the vacations that they're going on. And that, for me anyway, that makes me feel like, oh, maybe I should be doing that or maybe my family should be doing that. What about the two of you? Do you experience that peer pressure part of it?
This hits pretty much close to home, Like my mom, she goes to Facebook and she sees all her friends. They have these nice decorations in their houses and their nice cars. My mom's all like, man, I need to be like that, Like the peer pressure hits. Mm-hmm. So I can understand that.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like as college students, we have a lot of influence from social media, as Victor said, and we can start to think about how to spend our money just because we're looking at others, how they spend their money.
Yeah.
So I think it's a big factor, the pressure or the social pressure that we can get from social media.
Yeah, that's true. It's not just the people around you, it's also the social media and seeing what others are showing off and feeling the need to do the same. Speaking of social media, marketing also. Marketing's a big thing for me. I know that, those ads, they're very savvy in the way that they pull at your heartstrings and make you feel like you would be a better person or you would have more opportunities if you just owned fill in the blank. Any experience with that?
Yeah, I feel that that's what happens with many brands of phones, that people think they need them. So yeah, I can feel related with this.
For me, every time I Google like a product that I'm thinking of buying and then later I decide not to, because I don't follow with that peer pressure. Every time I go to social media, it always pops up there like an ad. Kind of sucks.
Yeah.
That marketing sucks.
Right. And it's always there. All right. Another one is unpredictable expenses. Do either of you have an example of an unexpected expense that you've had to deal with, or maybe have friends or family that have had to deal with those?
Yeah, I did. It was in my senior year. I was playing soccer and I fractured my finger because an opponent pushed me too hard and I fell on the ground in the wrong way. That was an unexpected expense.
Yeah, I do have a lot of unpredictable expenses because I live by my own. And sometimes during the summer, for example, the AC gets more expensive than what you think.
Yeah, so it's not always necessarily unexpected expenses, but it could be those variable expenses too. In my household, the unexpected expenses is usually health related, right? We have one of us gets sick and has to go to the doctor, or a vehicle needs to be repaired, or the AC breaks, something like that. So the cost of college is definitely a challenge of saving because college is not cheap.
Yeah, I think it's very difficult to think about saving when you are still thinking how to pay for your education. For those who can afford education on time and don't have any trouble paying for it, I think they think they are too young for saving because their generation is still paying for college. So I think there's two points of view on this. From those who struggle paying for college, it's difficult for them to save.
Finally, another one that I actually hear quite a bit, and into careers, I even hear this, a challenge to save money is having credit card debt. I've had credit card debt and that interest building and the payments, the amount of money being owed just continually growing. That definitely creates a struggle to save money, on the opposite end.
I think it's a big problem when you start to go to these stores that offer you a credit card every time you buy something. You don't know really how it works. You put yourself in risk.
It mostly comes to like how much you know about finance, because some people rely on credit card too much. They're like, oh, food, I'll just pay with credit card, and it becomes like a little habit from there. Like it goes from little expenses and then it goes to like big expenses, and that's how it collects debt over time.
If you're spending money that you don't have, you don't know if you're going to have it to pay that credit card bill in full when the time comes. That's when it gets dangerous for sure. This all kind of sounds like doom and gloom, right? But the good news is there are ways to overcome these challenges that we've just talked about. So just quickly to recap the common challenges of saving money. It's limited income, peer pressure, marketing, having unpredictable or unexpected expenses, the cost of college, and credit card debt. But like we've said, there are ways that you can tackle these challenges for sure. All right, let's start with tackling these challenges. One of the ways that you can tackle the challenge of limited income, or maybe having no income right now, is you could look for an on-campus job opportunity. You could do, there are work-study programs. You could get an internship. There are a lot of internships out there that are paid internships. Or look for part-time jobs in your area that aren't necessarily even on campus. Or maybe you have a skill that people are willing to pay for in doing freelance work. Victor and Natalia, you both fall into this category, right? Because you have part-time jobs on campus.
I mean, for me, I feel like it's pretty good because it's really balanced and I don't have to really struggle about, making up the hours. It's really flexible. That's what I'm trying to mean. So I could do my work, I could go to school, and I could work at the same time, all balanced, not having to worry about like, oh, I have homework due today and work to do at the same time. And also, I get paid, so that's a bonus.
Yeah, as Victor said, I think it's a really great opportunity to have a balance on your responsibilities working, but also with your responsibilities with your education, and also give you the chance to get involved with activities on campus. So I think it gives you the time for being involved in college.
And having a job on campus, from like a manager's point of view, we know that a lot of the part-time employees are students, and their education always comes first. Another way that you can overcome the savings obstacles is applying for scholarships and grants. If you get a scholarship or a grant, you do not have to pay back that money later on when you're out of college. How would a scholarship or receiving a scholarship or a grant help with the saving money part?
Not having to worry about college expenses.
Yeah, definitely it's money that you will not need to pay for
Right.
your education, so it's extra money that you have to put on your basket of savings.
Another one is to buy or rent used textbooks. instead of buying new ones. Another thing that you can do, especially here at MCC, is to choose classes with low or no book fees or sell back textbooks you no longer need. Talking about your classes that you've taken or are taking right now, have you had to pay for books at all?
For me, yeah, I kind of have to because there's this app for business people. And you have to buy in order to do your homework and quizzes. You have to buy in order to pass the class.
Yeah, for me, my first year, it was actually, I didn't have any class that required any book. It was all general credits, and I choose most of them as low cost. For none of them, I needed to pay anything. But now that I'm in my third semester, I need to get some books. But I think it's a really good investment if at the end of the year you sell them back.
Okay. Victor, with that app that you had to get for your classes, do you use it in multiple classes, or has it just been, in your experience so far, it's just been one class?
No, it's been multiple.
Oh, okay.
Like, for instance, I had to do it for micro and macroeconomics. For accounting, it's been free, thankfully.
Okay.
For general business, I had to pay for that. For psychology, I had to pay for that. Mostly, like, 50% of my classes.
Yeah, I remember when I was in college, I think it was nearly every class I had to get some kind of book. At this time, there really wasn't such a thing as low cost or no book classes. I felt like I spent a lot of money buying books. I did take advantage of buying used books and also selling them back. Another thing is taking advantage of student discounts whenever possible. I live by the mantra, always ask, the worst they can say is no. I know that I did that a lot. I asked if there was ever a student discount anywhere and everywhere that I went. Victor, do you ever try to use a student discount, or have you ever asked for one?
If there isn't a student discount, I use my coupons, I feel old doing that, but, I like to save. And yeah, the only time I used my student discount was on YouTube. Instead of being for $16.99, it was $7.99, so that was nice.
That's great.
Yeah, actually, I recently moved to a new apartment with my friends. We were looking for just cheap furniture, and we went to Goodwill for find a table or something like that. And it was a Saturday, and they told us that if we were coming back on Sunday, they will give us a 25% discount. So we went back on Sunday, and we get our student discount.
Nice. If you're not living at home and you're living in an apartment, to consider having roommates. And Natalia, you said that you're living on your own, and it sounds like that you have roommates.
Yeah, I have roommates.
And that helps with the cost of rent and utilities. Yeah. And like I said, if you are able to still live at home, take advantage of that, because even though it may at times be stressful, to be still living at home, it's worth it in the long run. I lived at home when I was in college for as long as I possibly could until I transferred to a university.
Well, for me, I live at my parents' house, and, I can save money there. But at the end of the day, I still help out my parents as well, whether that be for paying for dinner or for taking them out to the movies or just paying for my siblings' clothes at times,
And that's great. That's helpful in many different ways too. I think for a lot of people, a way to save money is, for the most part, making meals at home, cooking at home, rather than going out. Taking a family of 3 out to even fast food, my family looks at like $30 to $40, much less go to a sit-down restaurant. Then we're looking more at like $50, and that's even before tipping. Do you find that eating at home versus going out to eat makes a difference?
Yeah, totally. I have more order about my diet, and also I save money in the long run. Also, you can be healthier if you decide take time for cook your meals.
I mean, for me, I like to cook at times, when I feel like it, whether that be making rice pudding or, eggs or something simple, and fast.
Yeah.
But if I want to go eat out, usually we go to like street vendor foods, like
oh yeah, like taco trucks. Yeah, taco trucks.
Yeah, with my friends. It's cheaper, it's better. And
if you find yourself that you're spending a lot of money on things that aren't necessarily you find a lot of value in, it's just maybe inconvenience, or maybe you've got that peer pressure and you're around people who are spending money, so you join in with that spending money. Another way to tackle that is to set spending limits for yourself with social activities and shopping, and then make a plan to stick to that limit. So it doesn't necessarily say that you can't spend the money. It's just saying it's like making a pact with yourself to only spend up to a certain amount. One way I find helpful with setting a limit to myself is having cash, right? Because then once that cash is gone, I have no more money to spend. It's just not there to spend. Do you have any tips or tricks with that?
Yeah. When I get my paycheck, I take out $100 and I put it in a piggy bank where I won't touch it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice. There's always the options of choosing low cost or free alternatives for entertainment, such as outdoor activities like going hiking, doing movie nights at home rather than going to the theater. And there are even campus events. And I know here at MCC, they have different events going on. A lot of them are free. And if they're not free, I know that they are very discounted for students. And then one of the things that the three of us, I know we talk a lot about this, it's kind of one of our goals, is to get people to talk about money, about personal finance, and discussing that with friends or being open to other ideas financially. Have either of you done that with friends or family?
Well, I talk about that every time I can with my friends because we consider ourselves that we are broke all the time. So we are like, no, let's go here instead of here so we can save a little bit more money some weeks to spend it on the next week instead of do like little spendings without enjoying that amount of money.
For me, not really. Every time I talk to my friends or anything like that, we don't talk about anything financially because it's a really touchy subject, talk about it, because if we do, we're going to get into like a really touchy subject and it might change the mood either to a negative or positive, but we don't want to risk it. We're just there for fun.
Yeah, it is a touchy subject for a lot of people. And it's in the word personal finance. A lot of people, it's a very personal thing. But one thing about talking about it, and especially if you have even just one person that you feel that, okay, I can open up a little bit to them about maybe my situation or I've got questions, is a lot of times we find out that there are a lot of people going through the same things we are. Right? They're having the same struggles we are. To me, it's a relief to find out, oh, I'm not the only one in this situation or not knowing what to do, right? And then it builds this like camaraderie of, let's figure this out together. But yes, you have to, it's something that you have to tread lightly with because not everybody's in the same financial situation that we are or have the same experiences with finances. Also, if you have a credit card, being responsible with that credit card. The kind of the rule of thumb with a credit card is that you should avoid impulse purchases and that you should pay off the balance every month if possible to avoid that accumulating debt. And then finally, having a goal. If you are setting savings goals for yourself, understanding that it may take a long time to meet that savings goal for yourself, but every little bit helps. Even if you set a goal for yourself, like this month, I'm going to save $20 this month. So you could put that out by each week. So that's $5 a week. And if one week for some reason you're not able to save $5, that's okay. Because at the end of that month, you're probably going to have more money saved than if you had not set a goal for yourself at all. Just kind of recapping all of those things that you can do to tackle the challenges of saving money. The top 7 common methods of saving money is if you have a windfall or extra income, what would we suggest that you do with that?
Go for savings.
Go for savings. Another one is doing a savings challenge. Have either of you ever done a savings challenge?
It was like a monthly saving challenge where you save every day.
On the first day of the month, you save $1. And the second day of the month, you save $2. And then the third day, you save $3. Yeah, and I think at the end of the month, you end up with a total of like $1,300, something like that. I've done the spending freeze challenge. So a whole month, I did not allow myself to spend money on a certain item. And then that money that I would have spent on those those items, I put into savings. And there's a lot of different savings challenges out there. Another one is minimizing expenses, which we kind of talked about, right? Asking for those discounts, using coupons. That even though that may seem like an old person thing to do, it still helps, right? Because every little bit helps. Setting savings goals, right? Having a goal in mind will help keep you motivated, and also knowing with that goal, what are you saving up for? Paying off high interest debt. A lot of times, especially for college students who have credit cards, your highest interest debt is going to be credit cards. Also, if you have a car payment and you've financed a vehicle, that's higher interest debt. And then setting up automatic transfers to your checking or savings accounts on a regular basis, such as monthly or with each paycheck, is a really good way to save money, because then you're not seeing what you have at the end of the month or the end of the week and just saving that. Because more than likely, if you do that, you're not going to have anything left. And then the number one way to overcome challenges of saving money,
creating a budget.
Yes, my favorite word, budget. And people are like, oh, budget, right? But a budget's just a plan for your money. Final thing, let's say I've got money to save. Where do we put it? I'll let you guys take this one.
In a basic savings account.
I like to take the cash. That helps me a lot to not spend that money.
And then one other thing I wanted to mention, there are 2 programs. There's a Earn to Learn program and a New Leaf program. Both of those have a savings for schools, so that if you put in money into a savings account and they can match. And currently they can match 8 to 1. So you have $500 in that, you get $500 into that savings account and they give you $4,000. That's a really good match. And we have there's information about those 2 programs on the MCC's financial aid website, as well as financial literacy website. Finally, I want to just point out that the key to successful saving is consistency, discipline, and finding methods that align to your personal financial situation and goals. And there's nothing wrong with experimenting with different strategies to determine what works best for you.
We hope these tips and strategies help you rock your college life while building a solid financial foundation.
Remember, saving money is a journey. So be patient with yourself and stay focused on your goals.
Before we go, we want to emphasize that the financial literacy team is here to provide support and guidance to MCC students on their journey to improving and maintaining their financial knowledge. You can find us on MCC's financial aid website by clicking on the financial literacy section on the left side. There you can schedule a one-on-one appointment, access a free cash course account, stay informed about upcoming workshops and events, and explore additional financial resources.
Thanks for joining us on this episode of Triple C.
Until next time, keep saving, keep striving, and keep cashing in on your college success. Take care.